Gamecock Chalk Talk rolling right along. Now it's time to change gears here and talk a little news and notes from my good friend Brian Hand of Spurs and Feathers. And Brian, I'm going to start right here because Mike Davis went from sort of doubtful to sort of probable to 101 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 5.6 yard average. What's up with that?
Yeah, I think it was just, I think he really was hurt, as, you heard Mike Holt talking about, the bruised ribs really do, it takes a while to come back from. But I think, having the 9 days off, having a little bit more time to practice, having the preseason, taking some of that time off, the Spurrier might not have been happy with, but it got him a little bit of a chance to get healthier. And I think, as you could tell, he was having fun playing football in that game. He was running hard and running angry, really. And, he really was having fun. And it's nice to see. And I think we're coming into the Georgia game with Mike Davis finally pretty much 100%.
I still think Mike Davis is one of the better backs in the SEC, despite what some folks were saying about it. He's soft. He's not soft because if you saw that run down the goal line, there was nothing soft about that run. Now, they made one change on the offensive line, and it seemed to make Cody Wardrop a little bit motivated, I think, as Coach Spurrier said. He played pretty good.
Yeah, Spurs said, maybe that's what I got to do. Maybe he just needs that jump in his step. Because, they don't start him, and then, pretty much one play, and then he plays almost the rest of the game. And, then Allen did a great job center. I mean, the moves that they made this past week seem to work out. We'll see how it works out against Georgia, but at least, particularly with the defense flying around, they're starting to do the right things.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Now, one guy, Bryson Williams, who's the starter, can play corner, can play safety. They held him out for the remainder of the game, saying that they didn't really need him. But here's a guy, this wasn't like this game was a blowout. So I'm assuming like he must have nicked something up, even though they haven't said anything. But I'm thinking, why is he sitting on the sideline? Something has to be wrong with Bryson Williams for him not to be on the football field.
Well, he'd been held out of practice, had a little bit of an injury, but I think it's more to do with the fact that they were hedging their bets and deciding that, hey, we want to have this kid ready for Georgia. And it seemed to work out. And, if they wouldn't have had a 10-minute drive, over a 10-minute drive and really punched it down the throat of East Carolina, I think you might have seen him in there if they would have needed him because, he's a gamer and wants to play. But luckily for the Gamecocks, they had a little chance to get him a little bit more healthy.
They thought the young guys, Harrison, those guys are getting better. The second game, did they see a big improvement out of those young freshman cornerbacks?
Yeah, and I think everybody did. I think, particularly Al Harris Jr., you saw like in the second half, and he was really starting to come into his own. And, going back to the point about Bryson Williams, pulling him out, it gives these guys a little bit of a chance to play a little bit more. And they showed that, that's what they're going to need. I mean, you want to get them some action.
One other guy was David Williams. I saw him in there a few plays, but nothing significant. Are we going to ever see more reps out of this guy? Because Coach Spurrier keeps saying, I got to get him some reps, get him some action, but it seems like it just is very minimal at this time.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys that, I can't think of a more hyped about running back. Maybe Marcus Lattimore. Maybe Marcus Lattimore, but David Williams, everybody just expects him to come in there and win the Heisman this year. And, I mean, obviously it's baby steps. And, he had one carry and didn't go for any yards. He had the 6-yard catch, for his first reception. He's got talent, but I think, he's fourth on on the depth chart for a reason. I think the coaches really feel like the other three particularly know what they're doing a little bit better and really know the system a little bit better. Sean Carson didn't run the ball either. I mean, he had his chances on the returns. Bobbled the one, but had a couple good returns as well. So it's not an indictment necessarily on Sean Carson or David Williams. It's more saying that, hey, Brandon Wiles and Mike Davis, they're our guys.
1-2 punch, no doubt about it. And finally, the website, Spurs and Feathers, you get to hear a lot of chatter. I know it's very negative in week one. Did it get any better with the victory over East Carolina?
It did. Everybody's excited. Like I said, I think it was more because of the efforts. The wide receivers blocking, the defense flying around everywhere, the youth kind of being served. I think if they would have just been ho-hum out there, I mean, East Carolina is a good program. They won 10 games last year. So I think that the public kind of learned that this wasn't going to be an easy game, and it wasn't. And I think that they just like that the steps would be taken. Obviously, you'll see how that really goes this week, but at least South Carolina's in a position to maybe get that victory against Georgia.
Good stuff. Brian Hand at Spurs and Feathers. For the best updates, all Gamecocks, all the time, is Spurs and Feathers. Appreciate your time.